The vision finally had form. What was once a drawing, then a foundation, was now a building.
Before strength came sanctification. Ritual and craftsmanship joined, laying a spiritual deep. A city dedicated to construction arose first. Its product was not beauty, but capability. The tools, they came by the thousands. Not an anonymous army, but a congress of artists and engineers. Their most valuable stone would come later. The true foundation began with timber. Thousands of trees felled from distant forests. With a machine of simple physics and immense human effort, they began to implant the wooden forest.
The wooden skeleton needed a stone sinew. Rubble and mortar filled the voids, transforming thousands of individual
Upon the hidden wooden web, the first visible stone was laid. The red sandstone plinth began its climb.
The wooden skeleton needed a stone sinew. Rubble and mortar filled the voids, transforming thousands of individual.
Upon the hidden wooden web, the first visible stone was laid. The red sandstone plinth began its climb. With the foundation set, the next challenge began. How to lift a mountain of marble into the sky.
The work was a devouring fire that demanded constant fuel. It burned through day and night, through seasons.
The soul of the monument lay in the quarries of Makrana. Its pristine, luminous marble would become the Taj. Raw material had to become a building block. This demanded not just strength, but an intimate knowledge of the stone's hidden. The might of nature was harnessed to move the fruits of the earth. Elephants, the engines of the ancient world. The journey was a logistical ballet of endurance. Speed was irrelevant. The imperative was safe, steady. Rivers posed the greatest danger. A single misstep could sink a block forever. Each night, a temporary city arose around the stone. The caravan was a self-sufficient. The land itself threw obstacles in their path. Every hill, won not by machines, but by the synchronized will of muscle. After 400 kilometers and countless hardships, the destination appeared. The marble had At the ramp's base, the marble passed from the transporters to the builders. Its quality was judged. Using the simple physics of the pulley and the ramp, they defied gravity. The first piece of the heavenly vision was lifted.
After months of brutal labor, the earth was conquered. The platform was complete. An artificial hill.
On the platform, each marble block faced its final judgment. Only flawless stone could be used. Before it could be placed, each face had to be made perfectly true. This was the marriage of brute force.
The glue that would bind the monument for centuries was a scientific and alchemical marvel. Its recipe combined mineral and
steady, hold, set.
This was a defining moment, where the hidden strength of brick met the radiant beauty of marble.
entrance. Perfection was not an ideal, but a daily, measurable reality. The tools were simple, but the standard was absolute. And fires. The four minarets were not mere decorations. They were structural anchors, designed to frame the tomb and perform a... In a flash of genius, the architects built a secret into the towers. Their imperceptible lean.
The monument grew like a living thing, a strong, dense skeleton sheathed in a luminous...
The vision finally had form. What was once a drawing, then a foundation, was now a building.
With the walls complete, the ultimate challenge began, bridging the vast space above the tomb.
To shape the void, they first built a wooden mountain inside it. This vast scaffold would never be seen again.
The dome did not simply curve. It was a masterpiece of brick mathematics. Each course a step.
Between the two domes lay a dark, narrow universe. This void was the genius of the design.
As the curve steepened, the work defied all instinct. The masons became human keystones, holding the
The final stone was not just a piece of brick. It was the lock that completed the arch.
The crown of the monument was forged in fire and gold. The finial was its spiritual exclamation point.
Hoisting the golden spire was the most delicate maneuver yet. One slip could send it crashing through the newly finished dome.
Left, down, steady, no.
As the finial locked home, the monument reached its...
With the structural heart sealed forever, the craftsman turned to perfection of form. The outer shell was... Stone by stone, the garden grew. What was carved from the marble was replaced by something more precious. The skeleton was complete. What stood was a marvel of engineering, but it was silent and pale. The minarets were completed as perfect echoes of the grand design. Their crowning pavilions were the final structural...
Cladding the dome was a puzzle in 3 dimensions. Each marble panel had to be uniquely shaped to match the...
Why effort in that?
Before a single gem was set, the dance of decoration began with a drawing. These floral...
The marble was not merely carved, but engineered to hold. Each channel was undercut, a hidden mechanical lock to... Stone by stone, the garden grew. What was carved from the marble was replaced by something more precious. The adorned panels took their place on the monument's walls. They were not applied decoration, but integral parts of its surface. Every gem was hand-shaped to fit its unique cavity. This was the painstaking art of pietra dura.
While marble blossomed on the walls, a living garden was planted at its feet.
With the structure complete, the character of the work transformed. The age of the architect yielded to the age of the artist.
Stay place. The marble screen was the ultimate test of a carver's nerve. One misplaced...
The calligraphy was not mere decoration, but the literal word of God adorning the monument. Transferring the design was just the beginning. Each letter had to be carved with the care of a jeweler setting up covers.
The black marble inlay made the sacred script leap from the wall. This technique, known as parching kari. When completed, the calligraphy achieved the impossible. It made solid stone speak.
On the chosen site, geometry met the earth. The first act was not building up, but
The first task was to confront the earth itself. To build something eternal, they first had to hollow out. Tree was sacred. The red sandstone buildings provided both spiritual function and visual balance, their warmth grounding the ethereal white tomb at the center. 20 years after the first brick was laid, the monument stood complete in form and function. The gateway was the final piece of architectural theater. It hid the spectacle, then framed it perfectly.
Look at the water flow! The fountains are alive. It is truly paradise.
The final act of construction was an act of cleansing. As the grime of 2 decades washed away,
the geometry of paradise found its center. The placement of the cenotaphs fulfilled the building's sacred crystals.
Even in death, she was adorned with the finest art. The cenotaph itself was a jewel box, oceaned. Beneath the splendor lay simple truth. The crypt was the anchor of reality.
where stone ended, color began. The final artistic touches were these painted.
At last, the Creator faced his creation. The promise made in a moment of dawn far. In 1653, the tools fell silent. The dream conceived in 16... Condemned to the ultimate irony, Shah Jahan was given a room with a view.
As his body failed, his vision remained fixed. The Taj became his clock, his calendar.
In the end, his world was not the 4 walls of his prison, but the vision he had built miles away.
The river that carried the marble now carried the maker. In death, Shah Jahan
Empires turned to dust. Armies marched and faded. But
The world made a promise. By declaring it a heritage for all, humanity acknowledged us. A new century brought a new battle. The greatest threat to the eternal monument became the air itself. For every day, the story is retold. For every visitor who stands breathless.
The very love that built an empire of stone weakened the empire of flesh and blood.
The greatest threat may lie.
Under the moon, the Taj sheds its daytime identity as a tourist site. It reverts. Here, the monument is not a static relic, but a living responsibility. A new generation has taken up the Perhaps its true power is not in its perfection, but in its reflection. It shows us the grandeur is an illusion built from infinity of minutiae. For every sweeping arch,
The final question is not of engineering, but of ethics. Can a thing of such perfect beauty?
each dawn, the question of worth is answered anew, as the sun breathes color and life back into the stone.
Condemned to the ultimate irony, Shah Jahan was given a room with a view. The heart has its reasons, of which reason knows nothing, and sometimes it builds a world to prove it. Word of the Mogul's folly traveled faster than any ship. Long before photographs, the Taj Mahal entered
The colonial gaze was analytical. The Taj was transformed from a living symbol of power and love.
Photography democratized wonder. With the click of a shutter, the Taj became a global icon, a fixed image.
Faced with modern threats, preservation employs the ultimate tool, immortality through information.
Word of the marvel traveled by caravan and ship. Long before photographs, these fragile sketches were the seeds from which
nails. The industrial age replicated the monument for a mass audience. It became a fixed image in the Western mind.
Photography captured its soul with light. The image was no longer an interpretation, it was a fact.
In the age of mass media, the Taj became a universal brand. Its meaning was sometimes.
The world made a promise. By declaring it a treasure of all mankind, humanity acknowledged that some creations...
This way, quickly, quickly. Best view here.
Shah Jahan built this for his wife. Don't touch the marble.
Keep moving, please, keep moving. Photos now.
The true legacy of the Taj is not in stone, but in sinew and memory. The
enemy is now atmospheric. The greatest monument to eternal love faces...
And so, each dawn, it offers its silent answer.
It bears the weight of its own fame. The silent tomb of two lovers now hosts millions, their collective gaze of...
The fight for its future is a dialogue across centuries. The solution often lies in marrying the...
For contemporary artists, the Taj is the ultimate symbol to interrogate. They peel back its layers.
When the gates close and the crowds vanish, the Taj reclaims its original self.
It is the world stage. The tomb of two individuals now holds up a...
Perhaps we revere it because, in its curves and lines, we see the geometry of our own hearts.
Stone may yet return to dust, but the idea it represents.
Amidst the sightseers, the sacred heartbeat of the complex persists. It remains what it was all.
the most formidable enemy, is now invisible. Industrial progress and urban growth exhale a
The true legacy is not in the monument, but in the hands that still know how to make it. The living art survives in back-alley workshops.
In the digital age, the Taj exists twice, as stone on the banks of the Yamuna and as pixel.
Beyond history, it is a living symbol. For new generations, it is not relic of death.
To save it, we must first be forced to see it lost.
The past and present are reconnecting through data. Lost knowledge, encoded in ancient texts, is...
The Empire of Stone now faces the Empire of Concrete and Exhaust. The monument's greatest battle is with the vibrants. The Empire of Stone now faces the Empire of Concrete and Exhaust. The monument's greatest battle is with the...
Perhaps is Taj Mahal a tree, but a place.
In the harshest light, all stories fall away. What remains is just...
We have long called it a poem. Perhaps it is better understood as an archive.
That's the Taj. That's the king and queen. And that's them happy. The legend is passed stone.
It carries the weight of every gaze that has ever fallen upon it.
While scholars debate its past and engineers secure its future, its daily life is sustained by simple... History is a ripple on its surface. Empires, wars, and discoveries come and go, distorting the view for... The man is dust. The love is a memory. Only the testament remains.
Its form has become a word in a global language of beauty. From Captain,
we never see it with innocent eyes. Our view is layered with every painting, photo, and film.
To know it, you must walk around it. It has a public face and a private life. A front. It was built from one man's vision. It now lives in the eyes of everyone who beholds it.
Here, life and art are locked in a silent debate. One whispers of impermanence, the other shouts of it.
Beneath the poetry is pure mathematics. Its beauty speaks a universal language of...
When the light fails and the crowds leave, it remembers what it is, a house for the dead.
Yet. The interior was not a room, but a universe, a captured garden of eternal spring.
It is a sun around which a modern world orbits. Its gravity shapes it. For centuries, it has watched from 1,000 such stone eyes.
A tear on the cheek of time. Glorious in its solitude, more stunning in person.
Perhaps the building itself is not the point. Perhaps the point is the reflection it casts.
The interior was not a room, but a universe, a captured garden of eternal spring.
With the planting of the last tree, the metaphor became real. The tomb was no longer just a building in a...
For the masters, completion was not a celebration, but a verification. Their silent walk was the final... The final touches to the dome were like putting jewels on a crown. They completed the iconic skyline. The gateway was the final stroke of genius. It concealed the wonder, then revealed it in a... The final touches to the dome were like putting jewels on a crown. They completed the iconic skyline. The final act of construction was an act of purification. as the grime of a generation's labor washed away.
Allahu Akbar.
And so, the ultimate test was the mirror of the river. When the reflection matched the reality in every detail.
As the city of makers faded, the silence it left behind was profound.
1631, a promise made in grief. 1653, a promise.
The final element was not stone, but life itself. With the release of water, the complex awakened.
In that first overflow, the metaphor became liquid reality. The tomb was no longer an isolated.
He walked not as an emperor, but as a pilgrim. Each step was a measure of the distance between the man he was when she died. At last, he entered the house he built for her, the grand public symbol of eternity. His vision extended beyond the walls. He saw the Taj not as a solitary object, but
his gratitude was practical and eternal. He rewarded the minds, and then he instituted the means for the
The ledger closed on a number that would echo through history. 32 million rupees, the price of a...
With the artists departed, the keepers arrived. The age of creation ended, and the age of stewardship sweats. Under the moon, it shed its daytime identity. It became what its builders truly intended.
Condemned to the ultimate irony, Shah Jahan was given a room with a view. His prison was a perch from which to contemplate his life's work.
In the end, his world was not the four walls of his prison, but the vision he had built miles.
The river that carried the marble now carried the maker. In death.
You are incompetent. The empire is exhausted, and the cost of the Taj has ruined us.
The world made a promise. By declaring it a heritage for all, humanity acknowledged that some creations belong not.
A new century brought a new battle. The greatest threat to the eternal monument became the air itself, forcing it.
Every day, the story is retold. For every visitor who stands breathless.
From space, the truth is stark.
While scholars debate its past and engineers secure its future, its daily life is sustained by simple
interest. History is a ripple on its surface. Empires and discoveries come and go, distorting the view. See it with innocent eyes. Our view is layered with every painting, photo, and film. The man is dust. The love is a memory. Only the testament remains. When the gates close and the crowds vanish, the Taj reclaims its original self.
And so, each dawn, it offers its silent answer. As the sun.
It is the world's gathering place. Here, the human family reunites, not by language.
That's the king and queen, and that's them happy.
The legend is passed down not through stone.
For centuries, it has watched from 1,000 such stone eyes.
Perhaps we revere it because, in its curves and lines, we see
a tear on the cheek of time, the most perfect structure in the world, beyond breathtaking. To know it, you must walk around it. It has a public face and a private life, a front.
And so, each dawn, it offers its silent answer. As the sun breathes,
Witness the
it carries the weight of every gaze that has ever fallen upon it.
From the void of space, our world is a silent, blue marble.
It faces the fury of the skies with the same stillness with which it faces our admiration.
Change. The faces change. The feeling does not. Across the gulf of centuries, it elicits the same silent gaze.
It is sustained by a covenant of touch, a chain of hands, building it.
Every dusk, it performs its own metaphor. In the blue hour, it becomes what it truly is.
The river flows. The stone endures. The stars turn. We build... Trade, quarryman from Macrana. Trade, Pietra Dura in Lea from Florence. Every hand was accounted for.
As night fell, a new community was forged. Bound by a common burden, they rested.
In the end, it may all return to white, but the impression it leaves on the